and welcome to the 5th episode of That One Thing, the benefit of suffering mental health. I first want to start off by thanking everyone for joining us today. My name is Karina Shafalo, and it is a pleasure to have you on this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by RMK Productions Network, Untitled Podcast Network, and RMK Productions TV. Through the power of story, our mission is to uplift through voice, inspire, share stories and experience using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is hope, helping people every day. All right, everybody. So I hope everybody had a great day today. If you were ending or starting your day, I hope you had a fantastic day. So we have a special guest star today joining us for this evening of chatting, Mary Peticca, our one and only lacrosse SJU goalie. So, Mary, how you doing today?
I am fantastic. I literally am so excited for this, Karina.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to have a great discussion tonight about mental health, overcoming injuries, overcoming obstacles in general of being an athlete. And this can really pertain to being an athlete or also just injuries in general. So I just want to make that clear before we begin. So Mary, if you want to give us a brief introduction about who you are, maybe what your major is, aspirations, anything like that before we begin.
All right. Well, thank you for the intro. That was really nice of you.
Absolutely.
So, hey everyone, I'm Mary Peticca. I am a junior here at SJU. I am one of Karina's many teammates.
Actually, little fun fact there for a second. Mary and I met 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
Because I'm a freshman, Mary's a junior. And we met on the first day I was at campus. And literally the first day I moved in. And from then on, we've just been friends. We got an Uber together at 11:30 at night, and boom, it was with our friend Lonnie. Lonnie, if you're out there, hello.
Hey, Lonnie.
But ever since that, we have been, friends and laughing ever since.
Dude, Karina, you and I are the exact same person.
Literally, we are the exact. Literally, if you meet us in person any day, we are.
We don't shut up.
Exactly. So this is good that we're doing this.
Exactly.
Prepare, strap in for our conversation as well, because this is going to be a good one. This is really going to be a good one. But anyway, Mary, so tell me a little bit about, your background, a major that you're doing right now, and some aspirations for the future.
All right, well, I'm from good old Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour and a half, hour 15 from campus.
Okay.
Went to a really small school there and decided my senior year that I was really into biology.
Absolutely. God bless.
Yeah, I know. So I'm majoring in biology, and I have this might be a little odd combo, but I have a minor in Italian.
Wow!
Don't ask me to speak
That's kind of cool.
I won't do it.
That's kind of cool.
It's different.
Yeah, and you want diversity in your
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just adds a little pop.
Exactly.
And then future plans. Oh God. It's up in the air.
Yeah, it's up in the air right now.
I feel like it changes every day.
You know what? That's okay. And for anybody out there right now that is a junior, senior in college, it is okay. My one friend actually was a finance major in college, and she ended up doing, I think it was something with foreign exchange or something like that. It was a totally opposite of what she went for.
Yeah.
But you'll find yourself in careers, and we'll be talking about that maybe in a different podcast, but just, you don't know where you're going to end up. So you can guess, you go into a major with high aspirations, but ultimately you never know what's in store.
Yeah. And I feel with bio, I have the option to go to PA school. I have the option to go to medical school. I have the option to go to pharmacy school. I could go to law school.
Honestly, you could do anything.
I could do anything with it.
And with a bio background, that's awesome.
Yeah. So,
respect.
There we go.
But really, what we want to get into here, and I don't know if you were inspired to do bio through what you've went through. I don't know if that was a ticket for you, but I definitely think it's motivating and inspiring that you're doing it right now, because you probably are, getting more insight onto what happened to yourself.
Yeah.
Sounds so dramatic. I know, but in the way, I don't know, sometimes people go into these careers because of past events. And so let's dive right in here for a second. So we're going to be discussing some topics that disrupt or hurt our mental health that we've both experienced as athletes and how we overcame that. And again, like I said, this can also pertain to non-athletics, just lifestyle injuries. So we're going to get into that in general. All right. So first up, something that is huge for athletes is injuries. Whether it be a sprained ankle, you're just watching your teammates on the sideline, or it can be a torn ACL and you're out for months to years at a time. it can be challenging. It can be challenging, and it can really affect how we gauge ourselves and the mindset we try to embrace at practice and in life. So, Mary, if you want to take it away a little bit in your past history and just little anecdotes about yourself.
Yeah, buckle up.
Yeah, all right, yeah, we buckle up. Here we go.
Grab some popcorn. It'll take a while.
Oh my God, no, it's yeah.
All right, so let's go back to 2016.
2016.
All right,
okay.
so put yourself in 2016.
2016. I was
What a year?
Middle school.
I was freshman in high school.
Wow. Okay.
All right, so this was a big year for me, I want to say, lacrosse wise. My class, so I graduated high school in 2019. My class was one of the last classes to go through that September 1st rule.
Okay.
That was implemented by the NCAA.
For anyone who doesn't know that rule, so basically what happens is I believe you cannot commit to a school before September 1st of your junior year.
I don't even think you can talk.
You probably can't. Yes, you can't even talk.
Yeah.
So the recruiting process, so it's not as stressful for athletes. They backed up the date, so you can't talk until your junior year, September 1st.
Yeah. So this was I guess 2016. I heard news about this rule being implemented. I'm like, crap. I need to I want to commit, and I had such high expectations and goals and aspirations to play Division I lacrosse.
Absolutely.
That was my thing.
Right.
That's what everyone kind of knew me as. Coming in as a freshman was like a lacrosse player.
Right.
It was part of my identity, and I wanted to kind of continue that after high school. And so I trained hard. I trained hard that year because I had so many of these goals. I wanted to not only play at the Division I level, but I also wanted to go to a very high prestigious university.
Yes.
I wanted the academic intensity.
And when that's your persona of being the athlete, you have almost some stress on your shoulders there. Okay, now everybody knows me as this, so now I have to perform and actually put it on paper.
Exactly.
And that pressure alone can be affecting to our mindset going in.
100%.
Because obviously shoot for goals, shoot for high goals, as we talked about in episode 3. But shout out. But those goals, you also don't want to be so keen on them. You want to be open to other opportunities while you're in that. But anyway, Mary, so go ahead. So very into sports and going in, you want to go to a high prestigious college, and thinking that freshman year was a lot probably too.
I was
so overwhelming.
14 years old.
That's crazy.
And I'm thinking about 4 years down the line. That's too young.
Oh,
that's why I'm so glad this September 1st rule was implemented, because that's way too young. But anyways, so started training pretty hard, and scored. I was that annoying teacher's pet. I started being that annoying girl that had to I raised my hand every 5 seconds with a question or answer, just a comment, just putting my words. Yeah.
Mary.
Yeah, I know. I'm not like that anymore because I don't know anything anymore.
but I understand what you mean. I get it.
I had to be. I was so competitive.
Excellent.
I had to be the first one to answer.
Yes.
And same in lacrosse. I had to be a solid starting goalie.
And while that is very positive and healthy to think about, you might have been disrupting your mental health without even thinking.
No, I had no idea.
You had no idea that these positions that you were putting yourself in, the stressors of I need to answer first, was actually disrupting your thought process and your growth.
Oh, 100%.
Mindfulness wise.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So I'm training. My grades are so good. And then boom, tear my meniscus.
Oh my God.
I was 14 when it happened. I said that. I was at the gym. I had a trainer, and I was doing frog squats. So
those are not good.
No, they're not good. No.
Those are not good.
Cancel frog squats.
no, they're actually really bad.
So if you don't know what they are, you basically go down into a squat, and then you jump as far as you can into another squat.
Yeah.
You catch yourself into a squat, and as I was catching myself, I both knees cracked.
Oh my God.
But so I tore my left one. The left one, immediate pain. I knew there was something wrong. The right one just cracked because
Yeah.
I was doing a frog
Right,
squat.
just
So,
wow.
yeah. So immediate pain with that.
Oh my God.
I had no idea. And when you're like 14 and you have an injury like that, you don't realize
Like the impact it's gonna have later on.
you don't realize how intense that is.
Yeah.
And so I actually continued playing through it because I had no idea what was going on.
Right.
And it was a big recruiting year. And I played through the winter league with like my travel team. And then it got too much.
Really?
I was like, I need.
Now walk me through your thought process. Like, did you decide with your parents that you were going to do this? Like, did you decide to push back surgery, or was it?
Honest to God, I do not remember.
But was surgery on the table, or was it just
so it was like typically when you tear something, the process is you do like your RICE, like the rest, ice, compression, elevation, whatever.
Right.
That doesn't work. You do physical therapy for a little bit.
But that could tear it more, do you think? Like,
I don't know if it could really.
Or strengthen it, maybe either. But
like, we'll get into it later, but with my other injuries, my many other injuries, like physical therapy didn't do anything to me.
Okay.
Didn't help or make it worse. So, I think I did a little bit of physical therapy. I honestly don't remember. And then I saw a surgeon out in Lancaster and got an MRI. Basically, he was like, yeah, it's torn. Wow. Like, I can see a tear. And again, I'm 14. I have absolutely no clue what that
means. You have your whole like high school career ahead of you. And in that moment, freshman year,
I'm like, bam. Crap.
Yeah.
I'm
now
done.
when it first happened, did a sense of at 14, I don't know if you, like you said, like you don't know the effects, but did you feel almost like a depressed wave? Like,
honestly, no. I had no idea what was coming for me.
Okay.
I had no idea the pain I'd be in before surgery. I had no idea what surgery would look like, and I had no idea what the pain would be like after surgery.
Okay.
I had no clue.
Wow.
At all. So I didn't have any anxiety. I didn't have any, like, I think I watched a YouTube video that like my doctor sent me and was like, this is like pre-surgery, this is post-surgery, this is what's gonna happen, this is what you're gonna feel like. And I was like, okay, cool, all right,
yeah,
slap a band-aid on it, let's
go. Wow.
And that's like, I was so goal driven, right, that I'm just like, all right, come on, let's
so those externalities of like, okay, you're gonna be out for this much time, you weren't even thinking about that because you were still thinking about divisional lacrosse, high grades, mass. Okay, so that right there is almost like it's not ignoring it, but almost like you just were blind to it. Yeah. And I think sometimes when we're blind to those things and we don't like actually like embrace the injury and say, okay, this is what's happening to me, we sometimes fall back and like it's almost counterintuitive. Like, you try to ignore it, but then at some point it catches up to you, right? So, all right, so you get the surgery and then you're going through your season again. So I don't know what the rest period's at. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So I didn't have a season my freshman year. Let's just say that. Okay. So I had my first surgery in January. And so when you have a surgery over the winter, right? It's a 3-month recovery basically. Okay. So that kind of puts me at the start of season. Okay. So I was chilling when the surgeon was like, all right, 3 months, like you're good. I'm like, all right, let me do some squats now. Let me get this thing going. Yeah. And so they immediately hop you into physical therapy. They immediately stress you out, strengthen it, whatever. And during that time I really like indulged in my schoolwork, and that's good. Yeah, like I had other things to kind of divert my focus, right? And so grades stayed good. I wasn't really sad, I wasn't feeling anything because I'm like, okay, I have 3 months and I can still play.
Exactly. That's kind of the dream right now. Well, not
no.
But I mean, in general,
surgery.
That's kind of perfect.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. And so fast forward to March. I think it was March. We are playing a tournament, and we play this tournament every year, my school team. And we just played local schools, whatever. Nothing fun. And well, it's fun, but like,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
So I'm in the game, and there's a girl. I think she did like a crease roll. All right, so she's behind the cage, does a little dodge or a little dancey dance, and gets past the defender and like shoots on me. So she's like right on top of me, right? And so she shoots non-stick side high. All right. So if anybody doesn't know what that means, take your right hand.
Take it up.
All right. And you're just gonna drive it across your body towards your left shoulder. All right. That's non-stick side high.
That's a good way of doing it. Sorry. All
right.
So okay. So she drives it in.
All right. And so I'm pushing off my right leg and I step with my left. Torn. Again. Torn.
Oh my God.
I go down, all right. My coach runs out. One of the other goalies, I think, ran out and got me.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's when I'm like, crap.
Yeah, like this is real.
I just recovered from this. Guys, like surgical pain. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like
it's weird. It's weird.
It's god awful.
Yeah.
It is so bad and achy, and you just want to like chop your leg off.
No, literally.
Or like if you have an arm surgery, chop it off.
Chop
it. It's at that point it might be better. It might be less painful.
Honestly, I get what you like. It's just like you're almost like incapacitated. Like you just can't move. But okay, so you got that's the pivotal moment right there when you said, okay, excuse my language, but oh shit, this is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. So walk me through the next process of that in terms of like your mental health declining or maybe increasing. Like how did you combat these thoughts?
So with my first surgery, that's when I kind of got the idea of what it was like, like the pain.
Yes. Like the physical stuff.
The hard work that you have to put in.
Yes.
Like it is another level of hard work.
Yes, it's very
to
detailed.
get back.
It's very detailed.
Yeah, and especially at returning to a level that can get me to the Division I level.
Absolutely.
So hard. And so I tear it again, and I would straight denial. Like just straight denial. Wow. I was like, it's not torn.
Okay.
Like it's not torn.
Wow.
Like it's just my surgery. Like I'm still feeling the effects.
Yeah.
It is not torn. And so my parents were like, no, it's like torn.
No, Mary, listen.
Listen. And they were a huge like aspect of like me seeing the doctor again. I don't know how to word that.
Like they wanted you. They pushed you to see it.
Yeah. And both my parents, they understood how intense this was for 14-year-old.
The severity of a double knee at 14.
At age 14.
At 14.
Yeah.
I mean, now your mind hasn't fully matured yet. I mean, what were you
not fully matured?
True. But like at that point, like you don't even see your teammates getting hurt like that.
No.
At that age. Like it's just not that serious.
No.
Not saying that it could be, but I mean, for me, I've never seen somebody tear their ACL until probably high school.
Yeah.
Just and the growth of that, like the growth spurt and stuff like that. That's not.
Yeah.
But anyway, so a couple of stages that I would like to talk through right now before we go on to Mary's next story here is, so when injuries happen, what happens? So usually what happens is we get the depression phase. Okay, like fear of a re-injury, fear of not playing because of a previous injury, mood swings, identity loss, a lack of effort, maybe even a loss of appetite, or maybe not wanting to eat because you're not working out in that mindset. You know what I mean? And this can go for non-athletes as well. Like, okay, well, I'm not doing anything, I'm not walking or physical activity, so I might want to like starve myself, like it's just that kind of mentality. And for me, with my surgery, like that was my mentality. I tried to do a juice cleanse.
Did you?
Girl, absolutely not.
God.
But it was good juice. But like
it
was good. It was good. But like it just wasn't. It wasn't the right mindset. A disrupting sleep schedule. Couldn't sleep too much. You're sleeping too little. You're sleeping throughout the day. Maybe to avoid certain thoughts or certain feelings. And isolation. I mean, you're not in practice, you're not with your teammates. If you can't walk, you might not be in the same class as everybody else.
Mhm.
You have a certain type of pain that's not just physical at that point, it's very mental.
Mhm.
So when combating that, and we're going to get to sort of the steps to combating this and why suffering can actually be a good thing in the long run. And for Mary, I know, your previous injuries maybe have changed your perspective on things, have made you appreciate things more, like playing a game or something like that. I know for me, literally just playing lacrosse, walking each day is an appreciation for myself. A little anecdote, I have compartment syndrome, which basically is both my leg circulation issues. And I had the opportunity to play at a Division I school, and they had certain qualifications for health guidelines, and unfortunately I didn't meet those standards because of my legs, because of the surgery I had. Therefore I switched over to St. Joe's, which is great. And you know what? It worked out in my favor. I thought I got so low. I was like, this can't be happening right now. This was my life. I obsessed over this school.
Mhm.
And then, an angel came out of nowhere. I ended up going into St. Joe's my freshman year right now. And it's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And it all happens for a reason.
Mhm.
So when injuries happen like this, we have it's very hard to say everything happens for a reason. I'll be all right. And I know at 14, you're probably thinking like, okay, well, this is horrible. My life's over.
Mhm.
I mean, your recruiting process, everybody's getting recruited around you, and you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, would you want to go into your third story here about the next injury?
Yeah. So just to finish off the knee, I did end up having a second knee surgery before I was 15.
Wow.
It was literally like May something before I turned 15. So it was like my birthday month, and yeah.
Wow.
Spent my birthday on crutches, guys.
Dear God. That's horrible.
I know. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so
then
knee's fine. Knee's fine.
Oh,
all right. So we're good. We're chilling with the knee. All right. I played my sophomore year. Then we hit junior year.
Mhm.
So actually, let me back up. Sophomore year, I joined the swim team.
Heck yeah.
I literally am not even joking. I just completely let me just put my name down. No training, no experience.
Now, was this maybe because of your legs? Like, did you think that it would be like
partly just because? Yeah, I would say so actually.
Because swimming is very good.
It's so good for your joints.
Yeah.
So good. And it was another form of cardio that I could do that wouldn't destroy my legs.
Absolutely.
So it was like kind of smart for me to join the swim team. I loved it. I loved it. I literally formed the best relationships. I lost
incredible.
like 15 pounds.
Oh my God.
I was in good shape.
See, but you know what? That mindset of, let me try to pick something else to do.
I almost want to say like, okay, my dad uses this quote a lot. Like, as one door closes, another one opens.
Absolutely.
So I lost my freshman season, okay? But I joined the swim team.
And listen, you made friendships out of it.
Right?
You learned something new. And like, even for me, like, closing that door on that school, I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then it opened St. Joe's.
Yep.
And now we're here, right? Partying all night. Let's go. But that's
what we do here.
No, no, but like, in a sense, it's very exciting. I'm very excited to be here. And I'm actually really looking forward to spending my time.
Yeah, it's just a new chapter.
It's a new chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But so anyway,
so I'm swimming sophomore year. Boom, love it. All right. Junior year, I go, and again, I'm a swimmer. All right. Loved it.
Yes.
I end up tearing my labrum in my shoulder. I was doing, listen to this. So we were doing, God, what were they called? Just time tests, I guess. And the first race was a 500. Everyone had to do a 500, which is 25 laps.
Oh my God.
20, 22.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you now. It's 20 something.
It's something.
Yeah. So I'm swimming this, and literally I dive in and I pull down with my right, and like it popped.
Wow.
I finished the 500.
Good for
I
you.
literally am swimming, and I'm like,
this doesn't feel right.
Hey, something popped me. Kind of hurt.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I get out of the pool and I go to my coach. I'm like, can I go?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I don't think something's And so this surgery was actually worse than my knee surgery.
Wow.
This was probably mentally 1,000 times worse.
Why do you think?
My tear wouldn't show up on the MRI. So my insurance company wouldn't pay for it. I couldn't get the surgery for a year.
Oh my God.
So I ended up playing with the torn labrum my junior season. I'm the only goalie on this team.
Oh.
All right, I'm from the middle of nowhere in Lancaster, PA. You know, lacrosse is not a thing. I am the only goalie. I had to play with my left hand, like sometimes. Like I couldn't.
Wow.
Like it was torn, and I was doing physical therapy, and I had to play through it.
Oh my God.
So
And what,
painful.
so tell me what, I mean, if you remember, tell
Yeah.
me what was going through your head when you were like, you know, motivational, or is it more like,
It was more,
my arm's gonna fall off?
Yeah, it was more like, okay, first you have to realize, okay, I have pain.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so what can I do about the pain? Okay, that's done, took Advil, iced it, whatever.
Mhm.
The second thing that was really bad was I felt so restricted.
Mhm.
And here's what I mean by that. As a goalie, it's all explosive, hand, feet, hand-eye
Yes.
coordination, that kind of stuff. It's very explosive. So when a ball is being shot at me,
Yes.
I have to be there before the ball
Yes,
in order
exactly.
to save it.
Exactly.
But I'm driving with my right hand. I'm driving my stick to a ball. Okay.
It's a jerk
and
reaction.
it's a jerk. It's explosive. I'm using a torn muscle or ligament, whatever it is.
Yeah.
No.
But that's
It's to save a ball, and I can't do it. I literally could not do it. Like there were some shots where it's like I easily could have had it had I had a healthy shoulder.
that's insane.
And so that was what really got me, because junior year I'm committed D1 at this point, not to St. Joe's, to a different school, and like there was expectation, there was pressure for me. My team, we got a new head coach, amazing head coach. You know, we have a Penn State commit, Campbell commit, we have a couple other thrown in there. We were a good team, and we could have made it like super far. Yeah. And so
But there's pressure on
yes.
you.
Because
Because a lot of times the pressure ends up, and I love all goalies, God bless goalies. That should be a bumper sticker or
it
something.
should be.
But I mean, they honestly take a lot on their shoulders, and a lot of it is not their fault. But at the same time, like the pressure's on you, not just from your injury, but expectation wise and state championship wise. Yeah. So that's great.
And so it just was so stressful having to be, I mean, like even some of my teammates were complaining, they're just not saving me. I was like, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them my labrum was torn. They had no idea. I mean, like a couple of them knew, but it wasn't like spread around the team. I didn't like tell everyone. And so not being able to do my job for my team was the most like awful thing. That's what really got me.
Well, and let's trace back here. It's 14 when you were a very overachieving kid. Like you put expectations for yourself and you exceeded them.
Yeah.
And not being able to exceed something because of a physical injury is by far one of the worst things that you could. It's frustrating. It's like, you know, one of your feet is in a ditch or something. You can't walk. You can't be with the team. So let's talk a little bit about, before we get back to this, let's talk a little bit about overachieving real quick. So, I mean, listen, I love to overachieve. I think it's like a drug. It's addicting. And when it becomes addicting, it's dangerous because then you expect it. And when you expect something and you don't make it, you fall back into a depressive state because you're like, I can't do it. This is not. And that's why positive self-talk and getting yourself through that, saying one door opens or one door closes, another door opens, is something that you need to kind of repeat to yourself. And what I will like get somewhere on my car or something like that, everything happens for a reason. That will be ingrained for life because of my experiences and your experiences, just being here, sitting here right now, everything that led up to this point. But to get back to overachieving, you know, the more you fail, the more you're almost addicted to getting that feeling back. It's an addiction. It is. And while it can be a very healthy one, you know, maintaining that could help maintain your mental health. You know,
and that's what I felt my junior year. It was constant feeling of failure.
Yeah.
And if if I stepped outside of my body and rewatched my junior year, nobody would have thought I was failing.
Right.
Absolutely nobody.
Right.
But I did, because I couldn't do
what
I love
to
do.
Exactly.
And I felt that I let so many people down. I felt that I let my coaches down. My dad was one of my coaches. I felt like I feel like I let him down, It was like,
and it's almost like, they might not even be thinking that, but your mind just tells you that, right? And for anybody out there that's feeling the same way, you put these expectations on yourself, you put these almost like these fake norms in your head, and getting them out and trying to rewire is something that we're going to talk about soon, but it's very hard.
Yeah.
And especially at that age, still in high school.
Yeah.
So but yeah, Mara, if you want to finish up your story, and then we're going to get into sort of how to combat these mental illnesses.
Yeah, let's do it. So end up getting the shoulder surgery. That was really hard to come back from, but I made it for my senior season. I made it. I don't think I did the right amount of.
Mary, you are a tough cookie. That's right. Yeah, you are pretty tough. You're pretty tough.
Gee, thanks. Okay, so come back my senior season and I fall out. I'm not even gonna pound the back, Mary. I'm gonna give myself this. So
that's awesome.
I ended up doing really, really well. But that was the first year I went to therapy. I went to therapy my senior year. My mommy kind of forced me to do it. Whatever Beth says, Beth.
Hey, listen. I am a high advocate for therapy. I think it is very helpful.
I still go to this day.
It's hard for me to express like verbally, but like if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
I always think getting that extra step is crucial.
Yeah. And like part of my issue, I think my junior and senior year, was that I bottled everything up. I didn't talk to anybody about any pain, any mental obstacle I was trying to overcome. And that can be even worse.
Yes.
If you hold it inside,
if you keep, anybody who's holding something inside right now, I know for me, even like, not even physical injury, but yes, that too.
Yeah.
And
anything.
just keeping it in, but anything. Literally. I mean, even like my sexuality, like it will get it will get under your skin. You might not think it, but it will come back to you in some way, and you got to get it out to somebody, whether that be a friend, a teacher, a therapist, anything.
Yeah.
And it is okay to do that. I promise you, there are people out there that want to hear about your struggles and try to help you through that.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later, but end up going to college. Had COVID. COVID year. I didn't have COVID. We had our COVID year.
COVID year.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. But yes, COVID year again. A COVID year, then in and of itself, you're stuck with your feelings, mental health, mindfulness, isolated again. And for those who had COVID or maybe had a family member that had COVID, it could be very distraught and very stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're here now. Listen, we made it. We are here talking on this podcast. We are going. Yes, Mary's having a was having a kick-ass season, but for right now, we're trying to get healthier each day. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through some steps to help combat these mental I'm going to call them roadblocks, because I don't think I don't think they're permanent, because they're not. They are not. So step one, and I love steps. If you've listened to any of my podcasts, I love to list things out. I think that's the best way to remember things. Take out a pen, pencil, notepad, anything you want. List these out. Make your mind a priority. So what do I mean by that? Mary, if you want to jump in on this, feel free.
Yeah. All right. So making your mind a priority. I kind of want to link this to my junior year. How I wanted to help everyone. I went through this pain for my team, for my coaches. I did not ever once think about myself.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say I'm so
no,
I do everything for everyone.
No, you need to
yeah, but I didn't at all. And that was the one thing that really made my junior year a struggle, is that I didn't make myself a priority. Right. I didn't help myself. I was helping others. Right. So part of that, just going to therapy. And another thing, I started doing this year.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I write down Journaling.
Okay. So here's the thing about journaling. I am obsessed with it.
Really?
I love to journal. Well, here's the thing. So I started in quarantine, and at first you're gonna laugh probably, but I would like write my surroundings or write what I write situations in my life and kind of do it poetically.
Okay,
you know
I'm
what
gonna
I
laugh.
mean?
That's smart.
Right? Like it was just like it was a beautiful way of putting my thoughts down on paper. And I loved it. Like sometimes I would go back and be like, wow, remember this time? And you probably did this too. Like, remember this time I was feeling this way. And like you date it. So journaling's huge. Go to Michael's, get yourself a little journal, put some stickers on it.
Some color coding pens.
You want to do some calligraphy. But yeah. So if you want to do some of that, some pictures, and even drawing too.
You literally can make it so fun.
You can make it so fun.
And it's such a good outlet. Seriously.
And if you can't find a person in that moment, putting it down on paper, I promise you will get some of that steam out before you send that text or call that person.
Yeah, because like, believe it or not, like I don't always like to talk.
It's good. Well, you know what? You can't always be on. You gotta be off it sometimes. Yeah. Just be offline. Just take out your feelings on paper. And good old fashioned.
One thing I did recently was I took out a notebook, my journal. Hey. Yeah, and I wrote on a whole piece of paper everything that I love. Like literally, it literally had like flowers on it and coffee. Myself. No,
but like Karina. Honestly, no, but like seriously, like that is so healthy. That is so cool.
And now, anytime I'm like, want to jump in my bed and wrap myself in a cocoon, I can whip out that piece of paper and be like, okay, this is what I love. It's like grounding myself.
Yeah.
Taking myself out of like the negativity in my head and looking at everything in this world that is good.
Mary, that is so profound.
Oh my God, Paige.
No, but I really do like that. Like, so taking from this, make your mind a priority. You want to journalize, maybe if you want to see a therapist or talk to somebody that you really trust. But journalizing and just, writing some things down that you love, making yourself a priority and making time for yourself throughout your day to write some things down and list some things out. So number 2, realize injuries are out of your control. Suffering is out of your control. It's inevitable. Everybody's going to suffer. Okay. Everybody's going to suffer, but it's actually good to suffer. And I know that sounds weird.
No,
but
good.
If you suffer and if you've gotten through something and you're here right now listening to this podcast, congratulations. Because number 1, you're listening to a great podcast, I think.
Yeah.
But number 2, you made it. You're here right now with us. And that's a good thing. And you're trying to better yourself by listening to something educational. Yeah. Right? Like everything's out of your control, especially injuries on that point. And Mary, if you want to anecdote some of this stuff too, like
I mean, like looking at myself now, like okay, I didn't touch on this, but I was diagnosed with arthritis in my knee at 18. Right, so I'm a freshman in college with arthritis, and now I just had my 3rd knee surgery. 22 days ago.
Yes.
And so, like looking at my leg, it's anatomically built wrong.
Yeah.
If you think about it, my leg is built wrong, and that's why I keep tearing. That's why I have arthritis. Okay, because my bones are just shifted in weird positions. This is a bio major, everybody. Yes, I could really go into detail.
Well, listen, if anybody is interested in bio and wants to hear more about the anatomy of a knee, we can do another podcast if you're interested. But that's a really good point, and just like saying to yourself, like, okay, this is something that I know for me, living with compartment syndrome, I cannot really control. I can do everything in my power, but at the end of the day, it's my body. It's not my mind necessarily. So you really have to take that into perspective, and just trying to better yourself, better your body. But at the end of the day, what your body can do is what your body can do. Yep. So number 3, number 3, ask for help. Now, you're a teacher, snaps. You're a teacher, your parent, your coach probably has said this before. You can come to me with anything. You don't have to hesitate, this and that. I know for me, I will never take that into consideration
Oh, no.
because I am the kind of person that keeps things in.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just like this like natural ability to just not want to share anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when I shared a few things with Mary when we first met, or when Mary shared a few things with me about her injuries and stuff like that, like it was almost very comforting in a way. And asking for that help and saying, you know what, coach, you know what, Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, listen, I need your help on something. What's your opinion on this? Because sometimes you might actually learn something that might increase or help you in the future. You know what I mean? So.
No, yeah, because like I was saying this before the podcast, you and I kind of have, although it's very different, there's some similarities in how we got to St. Joe's and our journey with like our legs. basically, going to different schools.
Exactly.
And well, you didn't transfer, but ending up here at St. Joe's.
Yes.
It's different, but it's the same. And you don't know what others are going, like, have been through.
Right.
Or going
and being
through.
an outlet for somebody also is huge.
Oh,
well.
100%.
Absolutely.
I will always be an outlet.
I was just gonna say I'm so comfortable with Mary, but finding somebody that can maybe relate to your injuries or relate to your suffering in some way. Maybe if you lost a loved one and they lost a loved one, but I guarantee you, if you go up to them and maybe say something about, you know, something that you were struggling with, they will come back and talk about theirs, and then you guys can have a little like powwow about it.
It's team bond. This is team bonding, guys.
So yes, literally ask for help.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. You can always DM me at Karina Shafala if you ever want to talk about it. And Mary Peticca. If you ever wanted to talk about anything, you know I'm here. I got you guys. No worries. And Mary has you too.
Yeah.
So number four, treat yourself every now and then. I actually just had a hawk wrap tonight. If anybody doesn't know what a hawk wrap is,
oh my God.
It's one of the most famous hawk wrap, or I'm sorry, one of the most famous St. Joe's wraps you will ever get. And you have to kind of go through hoops and jumps. Wait, what is it saying? You have to go through some hoops to get it. Hoops and whatever, obstacles to get it because it's not in the main cafeteria.
Yes.
But treat yourself. I treated myself tonight. I also got ice cream.
Wow.
So yeah, like
good.
But the thing is, like, and this can be for journaling too, setting aside time. Do something that you love. Maybe that might not hurt you in some way. Like if you love to run, but you have a torn meniscus, maybe not doing that. But doing something that maybe watching Netflix, chill out for a night, take a break. Because ultimately that's gonna reset your mind and get you refreshed for whatever comes your way the next day.
Yeah, and it even just like it's something that makes you smile. Like literally anything. You know, my favorite thing to treat myself with is I just buy myself flowers.
Mary, that is so precious. Oh that's so precious.
Right now, I have pink flowers in my room. And they are very cute.
I love that.
So now when I wake up and I roll over in the morning, I see the pink flowers.
That is so cute. See, buy yourself some flowers.
There you go.
You know what? Just buy yourself.
Do a face mask. Literally,
do
anything
a face
that
mask.
makes you smile. If you're a guy, do a face mask.
Honestly, guys, do a face mask. Like that'd be kind of cool.
I might do one when I get home.
You should.
I treated myself today.
Do it.
Right,
I did also.
Fine.
And you know what? Maybe make it a group thing. Like send it in a group chat. Like everybody treat yourself to one thing tonight. I'm gonna do the same. Like make it a group effort.
And it can be like a conversation. Like, oh, what did you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
hold each other accountable for those actions, because sometimes I would want to treat myself, but I won't do it, and I'm like, okay, like I don't have time, or I make excuses.
Yes, excuses.
So I'm gonna hold, like for example, I'm gonna hold Mary accountable to get pink flowers. Okay, this week, and you're gonna hold me accountable for eating ice cream.
Okay.
Like that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Wait, but like we can actually do that. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
But in all essence, hold each other. It might help in that way if you feel like you might not be able to necessarily do it yourself. Get somebody else involved.
There you go.
And number 5, know you are not alone. There are many collegiate athletes that have probably dealt with one of the same injuries as you. Now, tearing a ligament in your knee or maybe in your shoulder is, very common for very high level athletes.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
You're not alone. So maybe finding a group. I joined a support group on Facebook.
You told me this.
I joined a support group on Facebook for my condition, and honestly, it helped me a lot because I was like reading this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, these people are feeling the same exact way I am. Oh my God, they're Division I athletes. Like what? Yeah. I'm scrolling and I'm like, I gotta reach out to these people. Somebody actually requested to be my friend. Has We're gonna make a little like group chat or something. But you're not alone. So don't ever feel, you might be isolated physically, but no, you are never alone. You always have an outlet. You always have Mary and I as well. You can, again, reach out to me anytime. And last, and I think the most important is acceptance.
Okay.
So acceptance of your injury, acceptance that things will get better, acceptance that, yes, your life may be shifting in a different direction right now, but again, everything happens for a reason. And accepting that mindset is huge.
This might be the most important out of all 6 of these steps, but it's also the hardest.
Yeah.
And you know, when I tore my meniscus for the second time, 2 out of 3, I was in like straight denial. I was like,
Yeah.
this isn't torn. And then once I kind of accepted it, I'm like, all right, ready to go. Let's get this over with.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So again, accepting that suffering, because again, suffering is a good thing. We need it as humans.
Mm-hmm.
If we go through our life crystal clear,
Mm-hmm.
clean as can be, we will never have went to our core with who we are and have found out who we are as a person.
We'll never grow.
You will never grow, and you will never find out, can I go one more?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do one more thing? Can I ace that test?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get through this run? Like, you got to get, like, at some point in your life, you just got to get to the crux of who you are. And you got to be so vulnerable with yourself.
Exactly.
But anyway, acceptance. So let me list them out one more time for your pen and paper that you have out, everybody, or your phone, in your journal, or, oh my gosh, yes, in your journal, you go, Michael. So make your mind a priority, number 1. 2, realize injuries are out of your control. 3, ask for help. 4, treat yourself every now and then, or all the time, either one. 5, know you are not alone. You are not alone. 6, acceptance. Okay, so those are our key points as athletes that have been through injuries that are life-altering in a way, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this can go for anybody. Lifestyle, maybe if you're older and you're dealing with a loss of somebody, or you're younger and you haven't went through any of this yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that you will, but you're gonna fingers crossed not, but you might see people in your career that might deal with this, and now you know kind of how
Mm-hmm.
to approach them with it, hearing from our stories.
Yep.
So anyway, Mary, is that all you got today? I mean, do you have anything
Girl,
else
that's
you
all I
like?
got.
Listen, guys, it was great having you on today. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, Karina out. Mary, thank you so much for being on with us today. And maybe she'll make another guest appearance sometime soon.
Hopefully.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Bye, guys.